to open up our back slider, have a cup of coffee, and see the mountains all around us. It just sets the day off correctly.
I got out of Connecticut because I thought I couldn't stand winter, but I learned that I really couldn't stand like the true Florida summer. So again, it's hot and hotter out there, and those are the two seasons I joke around saying.
When you live somewhere for 2 decades, the decision to leave is really hard. There's a lot of connections made, family, friends, work. It's what you know. And usually for somebody to make that decision, it really comes from a lot of pressure and a growing sense that the life that you have is not the life that you want anymore.
Why are you guys even thinking about leaving? Why is Florida not a good fit? A lot of people move to Florida.
I think for me personally, I had been there for 20 plus years. I had experienced everything I could have experienced in Florida. I've lived in numerous different places all over, in like Tallahassee, in Bradenton, Vero Beach. So it was everywhere in Florida. I loved it. It shared a special part in my life, but I was ready to move on. And we both really, after talking, we really had a passion for living near the mountains. Mm-hmm. And whether that was living a couple miles away in the foothills, et cetera, we knew we wanted this next phase to be around the mountains.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, I definitely agree with that. A big thing was that Florida just didn't have mountains. And growing up in Connecticut, I really missed the seasons. I got out of Connecticut because I thought I couldn't stand winter, but I learned that I really couldn't stand summer, like the true Florida summer. So, again, it's hot and hotter out there, and those are the two seasons I joke around saying. For me, it was like having the transitions to have like excitement building up of like the seasons. You know, you look forward to the fall activities, you look forward to winter activities, spring, summer, so on and so forth. And I think it just makes life feel more vibrant and full with having all the seasons. So for me, that was a big thing too.
I think for me, it was, I wanted to, whether I was out in the mountains or not, I wanted to see the mountains. And that's the great thing about the mountains is you can just be driving around the valley and see them off in the distance. And for me, it gives me peace. Like that is my happy place. In Florida, it's like if you're not at the beach, you're not really seeing the beach. So it was a drastic contrast for us to come out here and literally no matter where you're kind of at in the valley to see the mountains all around us, and more specifically where we're living at now, to open up our back slider, have a cup of coffee and see the mountains all around us. It just sets the day off correctly.
Once they admitted that Florida no longer felt like home, then the next question is, what kind of life were they actually trying to build that Florida was unable to give them?
I think our top priority was safety for sure. Safety and community, just safety of like feeling like you can pretty much go wherever at nighttime and not have to worry about like any kind of petty crimes.
When you leave a place that you've lived for 20 years, you really need a clear picture of what you want next. And for them, that list became very specific. It was about building a life that actually matched their values.
We wanted to have a more nature outdoor experience. So mountains, hiking, and anything like parks. We didn't want to be completely isolated. Yeah.
They were done with the heat. They were done with the flat land and done with feeling, most importantly probably, they were done with feeling disconnected with the community around them. So the question became, where do you find mountains and seasons and a community that feels real, all in one place?
When I first heard him bring up Idaho, I was like, you mean just potatoes? Like farm?
Tell me, what are
your
preconceived notions of Idaho? Because I love blowing those up.
All I know is Idaho potatoes. Right?
And you just thought like, blah, boring, farmland.
Like kind of
Idaho.
like the Midwest, Kansas, just flat land.
Okay, yeah.
So you don't just stumble across Idaho by accident when you live in Florida, most likely. Very polar opposite. Something really has to pull you in. And for them, Idaho checked every box that they felt was missing.
Between the different states that we were, not even cities, but the states we were looking at moving, and Idaho just seemed to it had a lot of check marks for us and what we were looking for.
What were some of those check marks for you guys?
again, like we keep mentioning mountains, but mountains was a big one.
Yeah, safety for her.
Yep, safety.
Yeah.
Water. Coming from Florida, we still wanted to have some experience with water, and we knew there was a really beautiful river here. Travel a little bit north here, and there's again beautiful mountain systems, beautiful waters and lakes,
Trees.
and trees. It's literally it's the best of all the work, all the things we were looking for.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So for some of the cities that we had initially on our list, like we slowly started to really reevaluate what our true like top needs were.
Yeah.
And we finally like narrowed it down. And so Boise came up on our Google search basically of like places that are backed up to mountains and foothills. So
It's really nice to be again surrounded by the foothills and to only be 30 minutes to an hour into like really big mountain systems. And
It started with one Google search and then a video and then a trip. And suddenly the entire map of their life and future changed. And once they landed in Idaho, everything started to shift.
What moment or place made you say Idaho can be home?
I know that one for me. It was driving down Cartwright Ranch Road, just being able to see that drive and then seeing like how every single turn showed you like a whole new section of the foothills area. And then eventually you like hit this hill and you just see downtown Boise opening up. And it's just so glorious and beautiful, especially during sunset. For me, yeah, it was just like, I can't believe that we have access to this so close to town and doesn't feel like we have to drive hours out for this.
Every move has a moment when things click. And I love hearing that from our clients when they work with us. Like, when did it really solidify in your head that this was it and this is the goal, you're going to move for it? So for some people, it could be the food, could be the people, the atmosphere, the city, the access to the outdoors. For them, though, Idaho clicked the moment they realized that this place gave them everything that Florida could not.
I'll mirror that. Honestly, it was the driving through these areas and really realizing that, wow, you can literally live like right up against these beautiful mountains, these beautiful foothills, and have the access to downtown. And there's actually things going on every single weekend here, because that was one of my biggest concerns. Again, I'm like, Boise, Idaho, there's probably gonna be nothing going on. Maybe some like, I don't know, some like pastures that you can like frolic in or something. I don't know. But it was the complete opposite. I feel like every weekend that we're here, there's always something going on.
This is amazing. This is so cool. Like, it's such a community oriented place.
So they started noticing the little things like the ease, the quiet, the space, and the feeling of breathing again. And that brings us to what really matters in a long distance move, the everyday life, the routine, the part that people ignore until they live it.
For me, I work downtown, so it's nice because there's two ways to get there. You can go through the foothills, which is a beautiful drive, or you can go down, is it
State Street?
State Street, yeah. I typically go the back way, just because of it. Again, I enjoy driving. I enjoy the view when I go into work. It puts me in a great mood. So I get there and I'm already in a fantastic mood. For me, it's about 25 minutes in traffic. I work overnight, so I typically go in around 7 or 8 p.m. So there's no traffic on the roads at that time. And coming home it's the same. I get off around 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m. and I'm going against traffic. So I'm not ever meeting traffic in that regard.
When you move across country, what really matters is not the first week or the first impression, it's really the everyday rhythm. And for them, daily life in Idaho solved almost every frustration that they had in Florida.
The drive to Bogus Basin is 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to go through the foothills onto
You gotta
Bogus.
sneak in the back way and then hit
Yes.
Bogus Road.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And then what about grocery stores, Costco?
What's the grocery store we go to right down here?
Winco.
So we go to Winco, which is 5 minutes away. It's a very quick drive, and it's one that we kind of slept on a little bit. It's a really nice grocery store. It's great prices.
Great value.
Yeah, great
So
value.
when you move somewhere new, you get these new stores.
Yes.
And you're like, well, I'm not used to going to that. But maybe it could be a great fit.
Trader Joe's is close to. It's about 15 minutes. So
Yeah, but to really get like really into the woods, like into the spruce trees and those type of things, it's probably 45 minutes to an hour north of here. McCall is what, about an hour and a half or so.
yeah, I mean, we're on the farthest north end though of the area. So to go to McCall, it's really easy.
especially here because the airport is so easy. It is. I just took a flight over to Portland and drove back yesterday, and it's just so easy to utilize the airport here. Like and it has a lot of direct flights to big cities, Chicago and the West Coast, etc. I definitely enjoy the airport, and I've heard it's actually expanding too. So that'll be nice.
For me, I already knew Boise was it. It took me to kind of almost convince him a little bit. It just feels like a place you can call home. It feels so welcoming. Like, the environment here is just so clean and safe and peaceful. The people here, again, just make you feel so welcome. Like, we went to Walgreens, and the cashier at Walgreens is striking up a conversation. How are you doing? What are your plans for today? It just feels like everyone is your friend and like has genuine interest of creating relationships and connections.
So what I see them continually repeat is that Idaho made their lifestyle simpler. They traded crowded roads for good access, great access, I would say, to the outdoors and the foothills and the river. Stressful errands for really calm days and the beautiful environment that they now live in and the views that they get. A flat routine, like a flat Florida, for the mountain views and everything that Idaho has to offer, almost in every direction. Lots of things to do. So it was not just different than Florida, it was the exact opposite. No place is perfect, and Idaho gave them a couple surprises. No deal breakers, but real learning moments they had never experienced in Florida.
We had a wildfire recently, our first one we pretty much experienced, and it was so close to home.
Close one to you guys here, yeah.
So for us, we had, living in Florida for such a long time, you're kind of like, I roll at like hearing a hurricane because, you just know that the impact of it could be bad, but most of the time it's really not bad. But we didn't know how to prepare for a wildfire. We've never really thought about it and never just done the research on it. Honestly, we had only been out here for a couple months, and so didn't cross our mind. But it was really cool. We were reassured by some people that kind of just let us know, like, the wildfire response out here is taken very seriously, and they'll do everything to prevent any kind of structural damage, even like a small barn or something like that, a shed. They like pride themselves on not having to really like having a clean history of like very minimal structural damage, that it just wouldn't get to the extent of it like getting so extreme. I
was very appreciative. They work amazingly hard out here. So again, like Amy said, to make sure that there's no structural damage, there's no life loss. And it was definitely really reassuring. The burn marks are still on the foothills, which is a little sad, but it's also a reminder that, it can happen at any point. So it definitely gave us a different perspective and a more preparedness for next time.
These moments matter because they show that even when things got uncomfortable, their commitment to Idaho didn't shake. And after settling in, they reached the point that everyone reaches, and that's the point where you look back and ask, did we make the right decision?
I wish we knew day one how awesome it is here, because I think we would have come out faster.
When you listen to them talk, it's clear. So they didn't just leave a state, they left a lifestyle that no longer fit. So if you're thinking about making your own move to Idaho, the best first step is a scouting trip. And you can book a free relocation consult with me to plan a free scouting trip with us at the link in the description below. And we can help you build a custom shortlist and compare communities and figure out if this move makes sense for you and your family. And if you're not ready to do that, then watch these videos next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.